case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
We'll have one too. That's right. I also have a bad case of diarrhea.
Me too.
Yeah. Bobo and I both have terrible cases of diarrhea.
You know why?
That's right. Because of so many different leaks and fake rosters for Super Smash Bros. Brawl that it has driven us crazy.
And therefore, in turn, has driven us sick, which therefore, in turn, has made us have a bad case of diarrhea.
Yeah. You know what? We have buckets right underneath our asses right now, and we are having diarrhea as this is going on. That you can't hear it though, because the buckets muffle it out. But
yeah.
It's really bad. Anyways,
Feels so
let's cut with the crap, pardon the pun, and move on to the overhaul.
Woohoo! Overhaul.
Not woohoo. This was a terrible week of updates. Yeah.
Why does it have to be so bad?
Alright. Let's start off with yeah, cut that out, Bobo. Okay.
Yeah, I'm stopping it.
Let's start off with the first update of the week. Zelda's Final Smash. Personally, I gave it a 2 out of 10, and Bobo,
7.5.
It wasn't that bad of an update, but the problem with it was, alright, the bad case was that, the bad part about it was that I already knew what it was. Bobo did not know what it was. And even if we did know what it was, it's just, I don't like it. It's just one arrow, right? Maybe you'll be
And
able to,
it's too obvious.
yeah, you'll see it from a mile away. And it shows it on the temple stage, like, way to show the way it's effective, right on the biggest stage. Like, okay.
Yeah, but if you look at it, it's like a gigantic laser beam. So one arrow is like 500 feet long. Like seriously, look at it.
Well, anyways,
Look at it.
it looks like it might not be effective. I'm not sure. I don't
See,
like
look,
it.
Like one gigantic arrow.
Apparently, Sheik will have different uses from it. The last pick that shows Sheik using it, Pit goes more straight than he does diagonal. So maybe that's the difference between the two. But, hey.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to be playing Zelda a lot myself. Or Sheik, honestly, because...
I'm gonna play Sheik.
Yeah,
cool.
I play Sheik.
Okay, next one.
Anyways, next update. Terrible day. Terrible update. The day was alright because of the next update. But Manaphy. What a stupid idea.
It's retarded.
Why would you do that? Now I might consider not even putting Pokeballs on for, like, half the time I have items on. Come on,
Come on, like, this is the most retarded Pokemon yet. Although, it does put a nice twist on things. So let's say you purposely chose a bad one, and then they have the good one, and so you make yourself, like, lose.
Yeah, but Manaphy I think is going to be a rare Pokemon. But
Yeah.
no, it says that you can't, if you jump off the stage, you take the loss. You take the stop
Exactly.
loss.
And
You know what
he'll get confused, and then he'll kill himself.
One guy suggested that, sorry. One guy suggested that, the character should walk like what they switched into. So if you're Zelda and you become DDD, or DK, like in the pick, you walk around all elegantly, or when DK goes into Zelda's body, she walks around like a monkey. But that would have taken too much programming for just one little stupid Pokemon.
And then they would have delayed the game again. So
Well-
shut up, people.
The game's already...
Deal with it.
Yeah, anyways.
So, anyways.
4 for me, 1 from Bobo.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit
I
less
just thought it was like
disgusting.
crap.
Anyways, Iwata asks, this is,
I have no clue.
yeah, Bobo didn't read it.
I went on it. Trust me, I went on it, but I could not find
Yeah, he couldn't get the link.
anything useful on it. Like all
Okay.
I saw was the website. That's it.
Yeah, he couldn't actually get to it, but I read the whole thing. It doesn't update on the weekend, but I'm sure it will update because it says to be continued for tomorrow, and I'll just bring that up and state what little subjects were discussed. What basically happened is the president of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, interviewed the maker of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and they discussed how the game would be made. And let's go through all the volumes here. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I can't seem to... Okay, there we go. Volume 1. So I pretty much memorized everything, and I can summarize it up. Iwata asked his former employee, let me sum up the story of what happens here. Satoru Iwata says that they're thinking about making Super Smash Bros. For the Wii / Revolution, as what it was known at the time. But everybody thought that he confirmed it. So everybody was like clapping and thinking that it will happen. So Sakurai was surprised at this because he didn't own the rights to Super Smash Bros. But he created and made the series. And he was thinking, well, I don't have the rights to it, but I'm surprised they didn't ask me. But then that night, will you excuse that? That is the phone. Excuse me for 1 minute. Sorry about that. Anyways, back to the thing. Yeah, Iwata invited Sakurai over to his hotel room, and I will not get into details about what they did there. Alright? It doesn't get into details, but it says that he just had a conversation. I think it's a little deeper, if you know what I mean, than that. And then...
Sex.
Did the microphone pick that up?
Possibly.
Don't-
Possibly
yeah.
not.
Okay, anyways. And basically, that's what happened. Brawl was created. They came to an agreement, and they started, because Masahiro Sakurai had left Nintendo, because he was tired of just making sequels to the same old game. And but an interesting note is also that he says he's the creator of Kirby, Meta Knight, and King Dedede. That's why I think they all got into the next game, and says all these other little things. But the most interesting point here mentioned is that what Brawl was supposed to be was just Melee. That's all it was supposed to be, with online capabilities. Not a good thing. Would you agree with that, Bobo?
What the F?
Yeah. WTF there. WTF. Anyways, that's what the first volume basically said. The second volume, which I'm loading right now, as they designed the game, as it says they designed it as if it was last in the series, and they made it more accessible to noobs. Doesn't mean the game is for noobs, but it's more easier to pick up and play.
Yeah, just pick up and play and not have to, like, train.
Yeah. And like what we've seen in videos, tether recovery in Melee was pretty difficult to pull off for noobs, right? But now everybody could pretty much pull it off. And versus co-op and share, they discuss Wi-Fi, and like they say again that Melee or Brawl was just going to be Melee with online features, and discuss the intricacies of Wi-Fi. Volume 4, they talk about the Subspace Emissary, and the most interesting part about this is who wrote the Subspace Emissary. The same guy that wrote Final Fantasy VII, which may have the best story in video games ever, or so I've been told, because I never played the game. Either has Bobo here. But originally the guy that made the story was going to make it DK, Link, and Samus or something like that, riding in a bus and snakes watching them from far away. Yeah, that was going to be a gay story. Agree, Bobo?
But, oh, yeah, that's retarded.
Yeah, that story would suck.
Stalker, he's a stalker.
Snake stalking them, yeah. But anyways, I'm glad it turned out to be the Subspace Emissary. You know what, Bobo? Stop watching Austin Powers. He's watching Austin Powers in the background.
It's funny.
You're not watching Austin Powers.
No!
Alright. Anyways. He turned it on!
I did not.
Okay, anyways. Anyways, they discussed the Subspace Emissary, blah, blah, blah. I'll leave the rest to you to read. Oh, and they also announced that Super Smash Bros. Brawl is going to be developed by Game Arts, who developed Grandia, which is also a pretty good RPG if you've never played it.
Never played it either.
Yeah, anyways.
So like,
we're gonna give the we're gonna rate the update. I gave it a 6. Bobo didn't read it, so no comment available from him. Anyways, like I said, like I usually say, YouTube limitations really are a pain in the ass, and we're gonna have to cut the video here.
Stupid.
Yeah, just move on to the next one. Samus Ranjit and
Bobo!
signing off.